also potentially obstructing justice. It's interesting because the Trump team last night put out a 19-page filing responding to the Department of Justice and did not use the word obstruction or obstruct once when the government used that word multiple times. Instead, the Trump team is focusing on this request before the judge today for a special master. A special master, it's a neutral third-party arbiter. Think of a retired judge or an attorney not related to this case that would come in, take a look at the evidence collected by DOJ, and potentially return some evidence not related to the scope of the investigation to the former president. Last night, the Trump team, out with that legal filing, argued for a special master. The former president says it's necessary to have a neutral party, make sure the DOJ was above board on every aspect of the investigation. According to the filing at the outset, the government does not cite any precedent for its assertion that movement lacks standing to request the appointment of a special master. Courts assessing past requests for the appointment of a special master have seemed to assume rightly that the target of a search and seizure has standing to seek neutral review of seized materials. The Department of Justice, John and Sandra, said this in its filing. As an initial matter, the former president lacks standing to seek judicial relief or oversight as to presidential records because those records do not belong to him. The Presidential Records Act makes clear the United States has complete ownership, possession, and control of them. Could federal judge Eileen Cannon rule from the bench today? It's possible, but again, we are in uncharted waters here. It's something she may want to chew on for a while. John, Sandra?
In uncharted waters in so many ways. David Spunt for us in Palm Beach. David, thank you. For more on this, let's bring in Jonathan Turley, George Washington University law professor, constitutional law attorney, and a Fox News contributor. So the DOJ, as David was pointing out, is arguing that Trump doesn't have standing to request a special master because the documents belong to the government. However, Trump's lawyers point to precedent in this that he does have standing, pointing to the raid on Michael Cohen's home, of all people, saying, quote, the subject of a search warrant requested the appointment of a special master in light of potential privilege concerns, and the U.S. District Court for the Southern District of New York granted the request. They're basically saying, you did it for Michael Cohen, you need to do it for Donald Trump.
Well, I think that the Trump team has a better argument here. I said earlier that I considered the DOJ filing exceedingly weak on these legal points. I'm actually astonished that Merrick Garland would sign off on this filing, or if he ever read it, because as a former judge, he's very familiar with special masters. They are regularly appointed. They're an extension of the authority of the court. They're there to help create a record for the court to render decisions on the merits of motions. I just was really astonished by the absolutism of the DOJ statements. I think it really undermined their credibility. I expect the judge will appoint a special master. Indeed, if I was drafting that DOJ filing, I would have definitely thrown a flag on the play and said, do we really want to do this? I mean, a lot of judges would push back on some of these assertions and to say, really? Because I've been a judge for a long time and we appoint special masters to assist us in cases like this.
Jonathan, can you sort of set up what's going to be happening in this hearing, obviously taking place now, 1 o'clock Eastern time, on this special master in the Trump case? What will sort of be coming out of this?
When they do it, I'll bring it to you here.
Well, the judge is going to help finish this record on the basis for this
Thank
motion.
you for watching, Patriots. Please subscribe if you haven't.
Parties to state their claims.
God bless.
She's going to then push
See,
them a bit. I think
when they
that
do
DOJ is going to be pushed the most on these issues.
ruling on the special master.
DOJ used that filing as a vehicle for other purposes. You know, they released that controversial photo